Welcome to another section in your Revit Structure Advanced course. In this section we're going to be looking at setting up work sets, and as usual your working files will be on your DVD or in your downloaded files if you downloaded this course from the internet. You'll see at the top of the screen we have a Revit project open, Revit Structure Advanced, and it's called Central 001. That will be in your working files. It is not a central file. You'll see why in a moment. If I go up to the application menu here and go to options first of all, make sure in options you have your username set. I'm using the username user1, and what we also need to check are our file locations. So we check the default path here. We go to browse, and at the moment it's not in the right place. So what I'll do, I'll go to movies and work files here, which is where all of the files are for this particular course. And I'm in setting up work sets, and I want to use that projects folder right there. So that's where all the default files are going to go. So I'm going to OK that, and that's all set up. If I go to Save As at the moment and go to Project there, you'll notice if I go to the options, I cannot make this a central model after the save. There is a reason for that. That's because I haven't set up work sharing yet. So what we do is we cancel that and we cancel that. Before we make it a central file, we need to set up the default work sets using work sharing and then add the user created work sets. So what I'll do, I'll go to the Collaborate tab on the ribbon and click on work sets here, and Revit prompts me you're about to enable work sharing. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick with these default ones here, shared level and grids, that's fine. Move remaining elements to work set. What we've got to think about are the four types of work sets that are created by default, which are project standards, such as materials, fill patterns, line styles, and so on. Families, a work set is created for each family that is loaded in the project, things like doors, windows, and furniture. A work set is assigned to each view, so this is where view-specific elements, things like text and dimensions, are placed, and they're placed automatically when you work on user-created work sets. And of course, I've just mentioned it, user-created work sets are the ones that hold the building elements. So the Revit software creates two of these by default, and these are the two we're looking at, the shared levels and grids and the work set one. So I'm going to click on OK there and enable work sharing in the project. It takes a few seconds to think about it, and as you can see, it's chugging away there and setting all of that up within the project for me. You can see there the progress down on the status bar there, so it's enabling work sharing for me. So once we've set up the default work set, which is here, there's work set 1, there's shared levels and grids, so I can set those up, and at the moment they're editable, yes, they're owned by me, user 1, and they're opened, and they're visible in all views. So what I can start thinking about is adding new ones. So if I click on new like that, I can enter a new work set name. So what we might think about there is something like structural columns. And it all depends on what you're working on and what kind of project you're working on as well, what the project standards are, and so on and so forth. You might have a CAD standard within your organization that sets all of these work sets up by name. So what I'll do there is I'll make sure that that's visible in all views there and click on OK. There's my structural columns work set. Now there's nothing in that work set right now because I haven't actually applied the elements to that work set, but I'll do that later. What I need to think about is setting up the work sets and making sure they're in this particular central project. So once we've done that, we then need to set our active work set. So we need to check which one is which. So if I go in here, we set our active work set, which might be structural columns. If I OK that now, you'll notice that structural columns there is the active work set. Now I can change that at any time, like so. I can go and pick a different work set at any time. So if I want to work on structural columns, that's how I do it. The elements will be in that work set. And to rename or delete a work set, it must first be made editable. So if you need to go back and check whether your work sets are editable or not, you just click on the work sets button here. You can also do it down here in the status bar. Work sets is there as well. So you can see I can click down there in the status bar, or I can click here. And you need to make sure that they're editable, and that's very easy. You just click on the pull down and that'll make it editable or non-editable as the case may be. So once you've got that all set up, if I now go back here to Save As, and go to Project, and now select my options here, you'll notice it's making it a central model after the save. And that's grayed out. I can't change that tick. It knows because I've enabled work sharing and work sets, it's going to be the central model. So I click on OK. I make sure that I save it with the appropriate file name, click on Save. That is now my central model for my work set related projects.